Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another fresh video. This is Awais Malik and you are watching me on my YouTube channel Foreigners Life in Chengdu. Today we are going to talk about what are the main reasons for the refusal of Chinese work permit or Chinese C visa. Most of the people, when they apply for the visa, there are some common mistakes that they always do and which cause them a big trouble. First of all is, once you got a job here in China, you got the offer letter. Most of the people, they got very easy that, oh, the things are done. Not really. Things will start it from here. Once you receive your offer letter and you receive invitation letter from your company, now it's your turn to collect all these documents. Put all these documents in a very nice clean file and then put them in order. First, put your passport. Second, put your CV. Third, put your invitation letter and the contract with the company. Third, put your medical certificate and also your no criminal record certificate. After you put this one, then put your education certificates. Put your education certificate in order from higher to lower. University degree, college, school. Same with the education certificate. Your recent experience put on top, then next, and then next. After you finish that one, you need to put your any extra skills that you have. For example, you have learned Office, you have learned any international driving license, you have any other extra computer skill. Whatever skills do you have the certificate, put that one in order. Make a very nice clean file. Once you have the file, it's very easy for the embassy to see and understand. There will not be a big problem for you. Usually what happens, people mix up everything, and when they go to the counter, if the embassy wants to check some documents and they can't find it from this file, just rubbing out the papers, they will just give it back to you and ask you to bring this paper and ask you to come back again. You have to wait in a queue again because they are busy. They will not wait for you. So you have to do this by yourself. This is for you to help yourself. So this is one of the biggest mistakes that usually people do. They do not make a very nice, clear, easy to understandable file. They will just put all these documents together and just give it to him. Ask him to find it by yourself. Nobody wants to do that. So first, you need to make sure you have a very nice, easy to understand, clear file. All documents are in order. So whenever and whatever documents he wants to find out, you can just point out to them, this document is here, this document is here. Now let's talk about the mistake number 2. Once you have passed out from your university, you have graduated from this year and your year when you start working, between this, if you have a big gap, number 1. Number 2, if you have a gap between your jobs, for example, you was working in 2013, 14, 15, 16, you did not have a job, you are doing something else, and then directly from 17, 18, you start job again. And then 19, you left the job and now you want to apply job in 2022 again. So there is a big gap between your working experience. What are you doing in these years? They also wants to know once you go to the embassy. Why there is a gap between this year? Like you graduated in 2013 and then until 2022, you just work for maybe 3 or 4 years. What are you doing for the rest of the 3 or 4 years? You need to have a very clear answers for this question. This is also one of the biggest mistakes usually people do, that when they usually say, oh, I was just at home or doing nothing or whatever. If you did nothing, you need to make a fake certificate for that one. For example, you can say I was doing social media, I was doing family business, I was doing any extra learning course. For example, I was learning computer, I was learning Photoshop, I was learning driving, I was doing something else. Between this gap, you need to fill the gap with something that you are doing. You cannot say that there was no job or there was no any other thing during that period I was doing. If you have a certificate, if you don't have a valid certificate, that does not matter. You can just tell them, I was doing this one, I have a certificate, but that was not a government institute or not a registered institute. This was a private institute where I was learning these skills. If you want to have a certificate, I can provide it. If they want it, you can just print it by yourself, because you already told them this certificate is not from the government or these certificates are not from any registered institute. It's a private institute who was teaching them, and I was learning there. So every year that is you have a gap, you have to fill it with something. If you cannot fill it with something, there will be another big problem for you. So the mistake number 3 that the people usually do, once you are in the embassy, you are in the counter, you have to prepare yourself for any question that he asks you to give a quick answer. He might ask you some of the questions related to your work experience. For example, you are applying a job as engineer in China, and you are now going to apply for this visa because you already got a job, you got the offer letter, you got the invitation letter, and you are just in the embassy to apply for the Z visa. He might ask you, where did you graduated and which year? You need to make sure you give the right answer according to your certificate. And then he may ask you that, for example, you are a geologist or you are whatever engineer you are. He might ask you 1 or 2 questions related to your field. You must give him a very clear and quick answer. Very clear and quick answer. You should not cannot do this one. He will think why he cannot answer me very fast. They will also have a chance. They might refuse your visa. So you have to be very, very careful. Mistake number 4 that usually people do is, do not try to be over smart. You are standing in their embassy. You are going into their country to work. Once they already have so many people in their country, and most of them, maybe some of them are jobless. So they also feel this is a problem. Do not try to be over smart. Be patient, very humble. You are not begging for it. You have applying a very valid visa, but be humble. Do not try to be over smart. If you can speak their language, do not speak until it is necessary. If they're talking in English, you talk in English. They talk in your local language, you answer back in your local language. If he speaks in Chinese, and you also can speak in Chinese. If you don't understand, just raise your hand and tell them, sorry, I did not get this one. Do not try to be over smart and to try to impress him that I can speak language or I can do whatever, I'm so cool. Do not do that. They also don't like that one. The next mistake that people usually do is, if you are switching between the jobs, and if he asks you why you change job very often, you need to give a very satisfactory answer. You just cannot simply say, I was looking for something better, for higher salary or blah blah blah. You need to give them a very valid reason that he will understand and also agree on that your reason. Cannot just say, I was looking for something better. This is also one of the biggest problems. According to the visa requirement, that you must have at least 2 years working experience in the field that you are applying, and this should be a continuous 2-year experience. So you need to make sure that the certificate and the work experience you bring there are according up to date and according to the requirement, cannot be less. And if you are switching between the industry, you also need to have a valid education and also the valid experience according to the same field. And he may ask you that why you are changing your industry. You also need to have a very satisfactory answer for that one, and you also need to give the valid education according to your job and also the 2-year, minimum 2-year continuous experience related to the job that you are applying for. So do not try to be over smart. Do not give any fake bogus answer. Always speak truth and always give a very satisfactory answer, which can help you to get the visa process more easy, more quicker, more faster. So there are the few mistakes that usually always people do, and I receive a lot of messages on Instagram, people asking me my visa has been refused and without any unknown reason. These are the common and main reason that visa has been refused. Make a very nice, clear, clean file that everything is very visible, easy to find, easy to understand. Your education and work experience certificates valid, more than 2 years for the experience. Do not try to be over smart in the embassy. Do not do any stupid thing that can cause you a big problem. If you are switching between the jobs, must have a valid answer. If you have a gap in your education and also in your working experience, must give a valid reason why there was a gap. If you just give any stupid reason, there is a big chance your visa will be refused. So make sure you have all this thing set up before you go there. You can practice, you can rehearse it at home, you can make the file and you can show this file to somebody, or even you can just send it to me on my email. I can just look up for you and I will tell you if there's any problem, what else you need to do. Before going to embassy, you can also consult with me if you need any help with the interview, the small quick interview. So this is it for today's video. If you like my video, please give me a like and subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope to see you in the next video, and if you wanted to know something more about the Chinese visa, Chinese work visa, you can ask me anytime. Thank you very much and see you next video. Allah Hafiz.